Hey everybody, it's kind of late here in the tech shack, but I wanted to share with you. I'm so excited. I just got my boards in, and I want to show you what came in the mail. Remember last time, if you watched my video on the West PC 800 motherboard that a friend of mine found in his Apple time capsule, I went ahead and burned a new font ROM for it. But it's still a little off. In fact, I'll show you. I got to do some more analysis. I think they scrambled a couple of the data lines because the font just doesn't come up like you think it should. You know, it's like a couple of the bits are not in the right places where they should be, or something's really funky going on there. I'm not really 100%, but let me show you what's on the screen. I'm close. So now I've got I went ahead and wrote some software to reverse the bits of the font, invert them. So now the letters, like the letter C, are kind of in the same, correct direction, and letter T's, everything looks okay. But there's still a little bit of glitch there. You can see the number 4. It's like it's shifted one too many, or something funny is going on. So either I was kind of late at night when I wrote that code and I wrote it wrong, but I verified the results and it looked good. So there's something else going on. So I'm going to do an analysis. I'm going to have to do a pin-for-pin comparison of the data lines from here to the shift register to find out what's going on. But that's not why I'm excited. I'm excited because I got my package today. And so I ordered a brain board here. This is really great. This guy on eBay has these boards. And he was so cool, and I'll show you why. He sent me a little invoice, and let's see what it says here. His name is, his store name is Arcade Alex, doing business as Arcade Alex. Anyway, I ordered a brain board from him, and if you don't know what a brain board is, here, let me set this up and show you. So a brain board is basically a ROM board for the Apple with a switch on it. And what it allows you to do, stay with me here. It's kind of hard to do this with a dang phone. Hang on a sec. I'll put this down for a minute. All right, so let me get this out of the bag. Don't you love a black screen? All right, so here's the brain board. I'm going to put it right here so you can see it. So that's the brain board. And what it is, it's basically a ROM board with some logic circuitry and a switch. And if you go to Mike's website, who was the original designer of the board, you'll get a whole blurb about how it works. But Alex went ahead and redid it a little bit. And anyway, what this allows you to do is basically there's a dip switch that goes here and a regular switch that goes here and hangs out the back of the Apple. And so you can flip the switch up and down and select different ROMs on the Apple, like if you wanted to boot into a specific type of monitor or if you want to run a special language or whatever. And so I was thinking, okay, because if you recall, this board here doesn't have any ROMs. And what West PC, the company, did is they had a ROM board that went into slot 0. The reason I know it went in slot 0 is I watched Eric's videos. Retro Eric has videos on this PC, and every time I saw his video, the board was in here. And he was kind enough to send me a lot of beautiful images of that ROM board so I could see how it was kind of wired. There's something funky going on this motherboard because on slot 0, according to the way the board is wired, the DMA in and interrupt in and DMA out signals are not what they're supposed to be. As far as an Apple is concerned. These are custom signals on this board that basically enable those ROMs. I think they're doing decoding on the motherboard for the high ROM addresses, and they're pulling these lines low to enable those ROMs. So I decided, well, I was going to try a brain board because he said, he told me in an email that a ROM board would work. So I was going to do the, put this together, shove it into any slot, and see if it came to life. But wait a minute. So, luckily, just by chance, I did not throw out my box of prototype tools for the Apple that I got in 1984. You got to see these, and I'll show them to you here in a minute. Let's put this aside for a minute. I want to show you what else Arcade Alex sent me. Look at this. He also sent me a free Apple VGA board, which is really cool. I'll have to get the stuff to stuff it. It uses a Raspberry Pi Pico, some LS, or actually 74 LVC 245s. They're low voltage, few resistors here and here, and then a VGA connector. There's software that runs on the Pico that watches the Apple bus, and whenever there's a write to any of the Apple's screen memory, it mimics it in its own memory and then produces a VGA signal. It also watches for any of the soft switches that go from high res to low res to text, and it mimics the whole thing beautifully. And basically you get a beautiful picture out. And what he wrote me in the receipt, this was really cool because I didn't pay for this. He just sent it along. He said, "Hey, thanks for buying my board. Enjoy a VGA PCB. These work great in monochrome mode with the brain board. Cheers, Alex." So thank you, Alex, if you're going to watch this. And I will definitely use this later. I'll either put it in my Apple or I'm going to put it on the West. But I am going to try that out and see if I can get superb VGA graphics out. I appreciate it. So I'll put that aside. Let me show you guys why I'm excited. So I'm excited about this. But today I found my box with my prototype boards. Now these things are cool and they don't make them anymore. Let me just show you what they are so you get a complete picture here why I'm stoked about this. Because these were the coolest things since peanut butter. So back in the 80s, 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, we used to prototype boards using wire wrap. And in case you don't know what that is, let me show you. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to show you what a wire wrap socket looks like so you get an idea. This is a wire wrap socket. Okay? And it looks like a regular socket from the top. But if you look at the bottom, you got these pins that are really long. And so those pins would go through the circuit board and basically hang out the bottom like that. And what you would do is you would take a wire wrap tool and a piece of wire wrap wire, and I'll show you the tool because I got the wires and I got the tool here. It's been a long time since I used this. Let me just show you this to you, so in case you've never seen this, in case you're a young person, never seen this. This is the wire wrap tool, okay? And this is the wire wrap wire. If you can see, it's also pre-stripped with a long, you can see the ends are stripped pretty long. So what you would do is you would, if you look at the tool, it's got a little hole right there. I don't know if you can see it too well. It's got a little notch with a hole. You would put the wire through that hole, shove this over the pin and turn, and it would wrap that wire around that pin to make the connection. And then you would run the wire down the board to another chip or anywhere else you needed a connection and do the same thing. Boom, you got a connection. You'd wrap it around that one, wrap it around that one. It was very tedious, took a lot of time. It worked pretty well, but it was a pain in the butt. Anyway, I got a ton of these lying around. I don't know why. I got to toss these one of these days, or maybe I keep them for nostalgic reasons or in case there's a retro guy that wants to wire wrap a board for whatever reason. Anyway, back to the Proto boards here. Let me show you these things. I am so stoked I found these. So back in the 80s, Robinson Nugent company, who also made IC sockets and a lot of other stuff, they got bought out by 3M. They don't make these anymore. And I got a cool big board here. Like I might use this one day to make another retro homebrew computer. It's a big board, and you can see the bottoms. I was working on something on this thing at one time. I'm not sure what it was, but so long ago. Anyway, so they made these boards for S100 bus, for different kinds of applications, and I just happened to buy 2 of these because I was working with the Apple back then, making prototype boards for the Apple. And so here we go. Here's an Apple prototype board. And as you can see, I've already put the EEPROM socket on there because I'm getting ready to, basically I'm going to build the same exact board that Retro Eric showed me, basically the ROM board for the West PC800. I'm going to make a clone of it by the pictures he sent me. Basically, it's just two EEPROMs with a bunch of wires going to the address and data bus and those special select lines that I mentioned earlier. So we'll see if it works. But this is quick and dirty, because what you would do is you would put your ICs, into those pins. You can see the holes. And automatically, the board was smart enough to run power on one side. That's the power right there. I think that's ground on this side. On the other side is power right here. And you can see I had a design on here at one time. I'm pulling it all apart here a little bit. But what you do, and I left this on here so you could see it, is this is a punch type situation. So I'm going to show you these pins. They're kind of cool. I don't know if you can tell. There we go. So if you look at them, so what they're like a phone punch tool. The old phone guys used to use these to punch down wires on their pins. But what you do, you run this wire. It's kind of a special kind of wire. I forgot the gauge. But what happens is when you punch it through that connection, it basically breaks the insulation and makes the connection. So what you do is you run your circuit by putting the wire, punching it down, going to the next pin, punching it down, going to the next pin, punching it down, punching down where you need that circuit to go. And for doing like data buses or address buses where you had like multiple ICs sharing the same signal, it was quick and dirty, because you could just go bam, 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 and punch that wire down and you were done. As you can see here, I punched a whole bus. I think this is the data bus, the white wires, and I ran them all the way to this connector. I think I was doing something with the Apple, with monitoring the Apple's data and address lines through a cable, because I have found the cable in this thing. Anyway, I'm pulling that all off. I'm going to rewire it so it's exactly, as far as I know, like the West PC card. And then I'm going to burn the ROM with the Apple monitor and see if it comes to life. And I will report back on that and let you guys know what my findings are. So I'm going to try this first, because I can do this a lot faster, believe it or not, than soldering the brain board and the other, this is way faster than finding all the parts with that and soldering. So I'm going to do this first, and I'll let you guys know what the results are. And hopefully, if all goes well, when we fire up that PC again, we'll get a AppleSoft prompt. So wish me luck. You guys have a great evening, and see you soon.